Good morning and welcome to our webinar. I hope everybody's well. Nearly 12 months in from the 1st of January. It's been quite a year for everybody involved in the transport industry, particularly into Northern Ireland, which, you know, it's always been a hard market, and I think the developments over the past few years have made it even tougher. I hope we're of some use to you today. My name's Alex McDonald. Some of you might know me, and I'm going to show you our alternative to the trader support service for Northern Ireland Customs. We do have some colleagues on Teams who might be able to answer your questions. Any that we can't answer today, we will get back to you. So feel free in the comment section to ask some questions. I'm going to just start with a little bit of a disclaimer because in customs things are changing, as you will read in the news. We are obviously trying to provide the most accurate and timely information, but there is no guarantee on this, and no guarantee certainly that it'll be accurate in the future. So please do take additional advice, or we can look at an individual set of circumstances, because this is quite a general nature. The information we have here. There are some new proposals on the way in discussion between the government and the EU with regards to goods coming into Northern Ireland. So it's definitely something that you need to keep an eye on and see what's happening before you make any decisions in any way. So it's very, very good to speak to a trade consultant or a VAT specialist prior to conducting trade. And if you want to contact us, we might be able to put you in touch with the right people for those services. I'll give you a little bit of background about our business. So we started off in 2004 as a freight ferry ticket agent. The business was established by two ex-senior ferry professionals, and the idea was set up to give customers a really good service. And also a nice smooth way of booking your ferries and access to lots of ferry routes. So as a freight ferry ticket agent, we're able to offer about 1,000 routes across Europe, you know, through one provider. The business has grown, and it's also developed some really good digital methods of payment. We also speak a number of languages. I think it's 10 at the moment. So we're able to deal with customers across Europe to give them that good service, but we also have some really good payment methods for ferry booking, so it's a really nice service to use. It was recognised with the onset of Brexit that there would be a risk to our customer base, that they might not have access to customs, and that's where CustomsLink came about, in order to really provide a service to people going on ferries that would need customs declarations in and out of GB and Northern Ireland. Giving you a little bit of our background there, it's really an essential service to Ro-Ro freight in the UK and Ireland now, being able to conduct customs services. We try to develop, where possible, digital solutions, so it makes it easier to transact. A lot of customs systems are very, very difficult, very technical, and you'd need a lot of experience to use them. You'll see that our service is very straightforward. We've developed this service with expert assistance from people in the ferry industry, with Border Force, with HMRC, the Food Resilience Industry Forum, Border Innovation Hub, and the University of Kent. So we've used really good experts to help us with this process. And we've done it from the ground up, and we've made it specifically for people using the Ro-Ro ferry services. My background, I might have mentioned it earlier. I had a senior role in the ferry industry for a company that served Northern Ireland. I lived in Northern Ireland for 6 years, so I have a lot of sympathy for the difficulties that people face getting through all this legislation for goods. You know, so anything we can do to help, we will. We've got a fantastic team of just under 20 people here. We've got customs professionals with decades of experience, ex-HMRC staff, and then we've also got ferry industry experts such as myself, and a dedicated customer service team who are on hand to help you, and we'll go through the hours that the customer service team is open a little bit later. If any of you didn't know, I'm sure you do by now, the background of customs in Northern Ireland. It's a tricky subject. The Northern Ireland Protocol is a piece of legislation intended to protect the EU single market whilst avoiding the imposition of a customs land border on the island of Ireland. So as such, there is no hard border on the island of Ireland. The customs checks are done when the goods arrive into Northern Ireland, and then they're in free circulation on the island of Ireland after that stage. As I've just mentioned, the NI is in the EU for customs rules, so customs checks are required for those goods arriving from GB into NI. Import clearances for GB to NI trade. However, there is unfettered access for GB goods moving from Northern Ireland to GB. This is the background, of course. We'll get a bit into the sort of detail of what we can do for you in a moment. Obviously, you can bring goods into NI by clearing them using the CDS system, which is HMRC's replacement for the Chief system. It's a new piece of software. It's not been without its issues, but it is improving all the time. Or you can enter Northern Ireland via the Republic of Ireland on a transit. There are currently some checks for foodstuffs, but watch this space. There are talks of easements between the EU and the government at the moment. So it's a movable feast, no pun intended. It does bring me to say that Northern Ireland does have a unique trading status with one foot in the GB market and one foot in the EU market, and that is a unique situation. And I think there are some genuine opportunities for traders who are based in Northern Ireland, based on that situation. Just mentioned it before. Northern Ireland is the first part of the UK to adopt CDS. There's only a limited number of brokers with access to CDS, so that can do the import declarations into Northern Ireland. We're one of those, so it's not widespread at this stage. So we've talked about customs declarations and the fact that they need to be made for goods coming into Northern Ireland. VAT on goods sold between Great Britain and Northern Ireland is slightly different. You've got the EU customs rules, but for VAT, it's still in the UK. So VAT is continued to be accounted as it is currently, as it has been, on goods sold between Great Britain and Northern Ireland, meaning that the seller of goods will continue to charge customers VAT and show that on the invoices. So that's different when you're selling something to the Republic of Ireland from GB, you zero rate the VAT on the invoice. So the VAT charged will be accounted for as output VAT on the VAT return in the same box as it is now. So the seller will not be able to claim this back as input VAT. And where the customer receives an invoice from the seller showing that VAT has been charged, it can use this as evidence in order to reclaim the VAT as input VAT, subject to the normal rules. And there are some exceptions to this, and that's where your trade consultant is very useful. This information is all available on the government's website, but sometimes it helps to have somebody hold your hand and take you through that. So what can we do for you to help you with your Northern Ireland trade? We can do full frontier declarations, which mean we can clear the goods as they arrive into Northern Ireland, so in Belfast or in Larne or Warren Point. We do entry summary declarations, which are another requirement for entry into Northern Ireland. You'll see how easy it is to do that with us in a moment. And we also can do your GMRs using the GVMS system, which is another requirement to actually arrive your goods into Northern Ireland. So once you've done your full frontier declaration, once you've done your entry summary declaration, you put those together to get your GMR, and that's given to the ferry operator before you check in on your outbound leg, such as in Heysham, Birkenhead, Cairnryan, and so on. We can do your traces entries for sanitary, phytosanitary pre-notification, and that's something that will be an interesting thing going forwards. We'll keep our eye out for that. We offer our services in two different ways. We've got a classic service where you send us the supporting documents and we'll do everything for you. So that's like a traditional customs broker. Or you can use our platform with a really easy user journey that I'll show you shortly. And that's a digital self-service offering. So there's been a lot of talk about why you would use a frontier declaration, full frontier declaration, or should you use simplified declarations at the border and then fill in the rest of the stuff later on. So we firmly believe in full frontier declarations. We think you should get the job done once, do it right, do it properly, and then you've got nothing to think about, nothing to worry about later on. But people say, well, what about the delays at the border? It's a very, very small fraction of all entries that are actually that need documentary checks or even less physical inspections. So we think it's a very, very small price to pay in a very rare set of circumstances that you'll have a delay at the border. So, you know, I'm quite dismissive of that issue. There's no additional authorizations needed. You don't need to apply to HMRC for authorization. Anybody that is able to do this can do that without having to apply. Entry in declarants records, as we know, that scheme ends on the 1st of January. And we think that overall it's a quicker process because you don't have to go back in, you don't have to administer all your declarations twice or 3 times over, and you save yourself time. You don't fall behind with your supplementary declarations. It's almost like a credit card in some regards. You know, if you do all your simplified ones now, you've got to do all that work at a later stage. You've got to pay it back. Whereas the way we do it, it's nice and easy, simple, do it once and it's done. One person can handle the whole thing, so there's no need to coordinate bits, or there's no confusion about what one entry was and, you know, where's the invoice for this, because we can't work out which one's which we know can be an issue when you're doing CFSP or the 2 or 3 stage entries. Straight away you'll know what your costs are, which gives you the opportunity to either change what you're doing or look at that or make any decisions, not at a later stage when you're coming to do your supplementary declaration. It also is a really, really good thing if you are a GB supplier to Northern Ireland. If you decide that you're going to deliver duty paid to your customers, you can do everything for them, so they don't have to do anything when they receive the goods. So as a supplier, you can give your customers a really nice service, and you say, look, I'm going to deliver those goods to you, and you don't need to do anything. The goods are yours to do as you wish with them. Touching on that I just mentioned, Incoterms. So normally we advise people to avoid ex-works or DDP because if you don't have a presence in the EU country that you're selling to, you can't really use DDP. So you would use delivered at place, and your customer would then do the import declaration in the EU. Slightly different with Northern Ireland, where if you register with HMRC, you can actually offer your customers delivered duty paid, and that you're the importer of record for those goods as they arrive into Northern Ireland. Using any of the other Incoterms, you can decide that your customer can do all the customs, that is responsible for the customs or the importer of record. So the key to it really is preparation, as I'm sure everybody knows now. You have a few things to do if you want to use this service. Registering with CDS so that the CDS system knows that you exist. Also register with the UK Trader Scheme, and that, if you're eligible for it, allows you to import goods into Northern Ireland and say that these are not at risk of going to the Republic of Ireland, and then because of that there are no duties to pay. So it's really worthwhile looking to see if you can register for the UK Trader Scheme. If you can't register for the UK Trader Scheme, there are some other options for you, and we'll look at those in a moment. Get yourselves an XI and a GB EORI number. You've probably already done that if you're on this webinar, but it's a 5-minute process and it comes very, very quickly. Consider getting a deferment account if you do need to pay duties, or alternatively, you can use our deferment account. So I've just mentioned there might be other ways of avoiding duties. This is something that a trade consultant will be able to help you with. there are some de minimis waivers which allow you to claim back your duty up to £300,000 over a certain period of time, and you have to have qualifying criteria to be able to do that. So that is effectively like a grant or aid to do that. These are things that if you do get in touch with us, we'll be able to point you in the right direction. And then slightly different to the TSS, for us to complete a full frontier declaration, we will need your commercial invoice either sent to us or uploaded in the platform for us to submit the entry to CDS. So that can be a slight inconvenience, but we can do this process very, very quickly. So if we've got the invoice, you know, we can really quickly get your clearance done so that you can get your MRN, get your ENS, get your GMR, and check in for the ferry. You know, we have customers who are very, very close to the ferry terminal and need to do this, and we can do it between, you know, they can more or less see the ferry where they are, and we can get the goods cleared, get their MRNs before their driver arrives at the check-in booth for the ferry. We don't currently clear goods into Northern Ireland that are for onward supply into ROI. That's something we will look at a later stage. However, we're quite comfortable with the service that we're offering currently, and you know, we'll look at that at a later stage. So, how does CustomsLink work? Register with us. We've got an onboarding team that can help you and check that you've got the right things that you need, that you've got, you know, you're on the UK Trader Scheme, you're registered on CDS and so on. So register with the UK Trader Scheme. We will need a letter of authority, which basically says that we can act in direct representation of the importer of record. So then we can act on your behalf. All you do, you input the seller, the buyer, the goods details, and the transport details. It's a really simple process. We'll show you this in the next slide. You declare your goods not at risk, submit your entry and get your ENS MRN at the same time, and then you create your GMR. So it can be a really quick and simple process. We can template your regular movements, which saves you time on data entry. So this is the thing, we've noticed actually that a lot of movements are repeat. So we have a copy function that copies certain data across it. It blanks out other bits that you need to update every time. Because we really want to save you time on this, and there's no point putting the same code in every time for the same movement. We can do that for you. So here is my demonstration. I might need to just stop presenting and start again. It won't be a moment. Here we go. So I'm just showing you our dashboard, which is the system that we use. It's a really, really simple process. You've got the ability to create a standalone entry summary declaration or an exit summary declaration. You can build your GVMS service there. You can get your GMRs, and then this is the dashboard where you will see any entries that you've made. It's very easy to search and filter. So I'm going to create a new Northern Ireland import. So I'm going to just put, if you tick here, you get your ENS at the same time, so you don't need to do anything separately. So I'm going to tick that. I'm going to get my ENS at the same time. So you don't need to lift a finger or do any other work, but by ticking that, when you do your import, you get your ENS at the same time. So, as I said, very, very simple user journey. On the left are all the things that you need to do. And we've got a little red dot for the things that you haven't yet done. So I'm just going to choose a customer that I've already had loaded onto my system. and that's, you can see the little dot has gone green now, which is nice and easy. And then the importer details, how easy it was to fill that out because you've uploaded these already. You can put a list of your customers in there. Same delivery details as the importer details, nice and simple. And now I'm going to add some goods. Make it nice and easy, GB origin goods. Upload my invoice. Somewhere down here, actually, the invoice. I'll just add that one there. And you can add, the invoice can be in PDF format or a number of different formats. So we've uploaded an invoice. I'm going to put in my commodity code. And the system does a nice little check for you to say, yes, it was paper. We're going to show how it's packed. You can see there's plenty of simple validation here that says, you know, your net weight can't be more than your gross weight. They're not hazardous. We're going to use standard CPC code. So entry into free circulation. Just go back up there. And we use basic declaration. Invoice value of the goods, £3,000. GB. Standard VAT. There's no export license or permit on these goods. And you can see that my goods details are green, so all those have been validated. You've got a nice check that you can just check against your invoice that your weights are correct and your price is correct. And if you added more and more goods, which you can do here, you just go through the same goods process. We do have the opportunity to upload goods in bulk. So if you use an Excel template, you can upload 50, 99 lines of goods all in one go. Saves you a heck of a lot of time. So we'll just say don't need to fill these in actually. So we'll apply postponed VAT accounting. That's actually more important when you're doing a GB import. And so now we've got the goods details. These are often the things that the supplier or the trader will have. And then you've got the transport details, which is where the goods are going. So I'm just going to say TL12. And shall we choose Stena line, port of departure, Birkenhead and Belfast. Okay, I'm going to say Stena Edda. Oh goodness, I'm going to put a false IMO number in just for the purposes of this. So we'll say we're going tomorrow, 22:30. We're going to get in the 9th, 6:30. You can see again, we've got another green dot. just past that. And then we can submit the declaration. So there you would have your ENS and your full frontier declaration. And I think if I looked, it took me about 5 minutes to do that. So I'm just going to go back to the presentation. So how much does this cost? We can do a full frontier declaration for you from £30. We've got a special offer for anybody who's been on this webinar, just to say thank you for attending, and we'll give you £5 off your import prices. Just in terms of our service, we're open from 7 till 9 on weekdays and from 8 till 4 on weekends and bank holidays. So we are open weekends, we are open bank holidays, and the digital service is available for you 24/7. We can also do Republic of Ireland and GB declarations, as well as raising transits in GB as well. So for people who are exporting also onto the continent, we've got a really nice service for you there. Anytime you'd like, we can arrange a demonstration. You can meet with our experts to find out what your requirements are, see how we can help you. So we'd be really keen for a chat with you to see what we can do for any of your Irish Sea customs clearances. That would be we'd be more than happy. So do get in touch. I've not been able to see the questions, if there have been any questions, but if we've not been able to answer your questions, we will certainly get back to you. I have my contact details. You can get me on LinkedIn or give us a call here. Really grateful for your time and thanks for your interest in us. We will have another webinar about the changes for the 1st of January. We'll probably do that in early December. So once again, thank you very much indeed, and I hope this has been useful to you. Thank you.